Chayei Sarah, the life of Sarah, but interestingly enough, it's the death of Sarah. The first verse it says that Sarah lived 127 years. And the Mepharshim explained why 127 years is that instead of saying 127 years, it separated it in three parts, right? But it's not written like in Mea Shanim, Esrim Shanim. So the question is why do they say it like that? What does the Torah start like that? And the answer is that the same way that she was when she was 7, that's how she was when she was 20, when she was when she was 100. Meaning that all of her days, she used all of her days. So as soon as she understood that, I mean, from the time that she was born, she never wasted time. And whenever she was able to do something, to of chesed and good things, she would always, use all of her days. So this is why we're specific about how we say about her days. And also, we say the same way that she was beautiful, right, inside and outside when she was 7. Also, when she was older, meaning that she kept beautiful appearance. Like it says in the previous parasha, it says that Abraham, when they wanted to kidnap Sarah, so he said, "Now I know that you're beautiful, so I have to be careful with you, because if I'm not careful with you and you don't say that I'm your brother, they'll just go and kill me and take you as a wife," right? So like we explained, like we spoke about this with Yosef. So we see in this week's parasha we have two very important pillars, the matriarchs, right? The foundation of the Torah. Like it says in the Gemara, that a person's all his blessings comes through his wife. Like we see here in this parasha, it says and Abraham, right? He got good, Baburech, right? Thanks to Sarah. So thanks to Sarah, he got the blessings, and that's what the Gemara says. There's actually a teaching that says that what is the punishment that the man got after eating from the fruit? The man got the punishment bezat apecha tuchal lechem, right? By sweating, by the sweat of your brow, you're gonna go and eat bread. Meaning that you have to go to work and everything's difficult and you have to run around. Before, in time of before the sin, by the Adam Rishon, everything was already set up. You have to wait 6 months till you have the grains, and you have to do 11 melachot. So this was one of the curses for the man. And for the woman, one of the curses was what? Was that her husband, that the man will always be dominating over her. This was a curse, that the man will always be over, be stronger, will be, I wouldn't say controlling, but yeah, let's say even controlling her. So it says that when a man lets go of being of, I guess, terrorizing his wife, or like making her like treating her like like garbage, then, and he treats her like a princess, like a queen. So then at the same time, so since he takes away the curse that she got, right, that she has to be subjugated and she has to be put down by the man, then the other way around, that the same way that he takes away her curse, so she takes away his curse. And so it's like midah keneged midah. So his curse is that he has to work hard like a dog to make a penny, and her curse is that she's going to be subjugated. So now when a husband treats his wife with respect, with love, with attention, so then he gets the bracha, and even all this hard work that he has to do, no, he doesn't have to do all that hard work, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends him the blessing in what he does. So this is a very important. A person has to love and honor his wife. Like we see in this week's parasha, that Abraham, he went to go and bury Sarah. This is one of the obligations of a man, to go, but after 120, to go and bury. And it says that Abraham went to buy the land from the Chittit, and when he went to buy the land, they told him, "Oh, we'll give it to you for free." Like we said last week with Yosef, Rabbi Demir said, "What? So the person who hates gifts, this is one who's going to live." Why? Because when you get a gift, and there was a question last week and 2 weeks ago, there was a question, because we see that Abraham went and he took the gifts of who? He took the gifts of Paro, right? But he did not take the gift of Melech Sidon, the king of Sidon, right? After Abraham went and he went to save his nephew Lot. Lot was kidnapped by the kings. Abraham went to war, and he chased them. And the king of Sidon was very happy. So he went to Abraham. He said, "Look, I want to give you a gift. I want to give you a present." Abraham said no, but he took the gifts of Paro. So now what's the question? So now the simple pshat is Paro is the king, and if you don't take his gifts, he's going to chop your head off, right? Melach Sidon, he was the king of Sidon, but he's not the king of Abraham, right? Abraham didn't live in Sidon. But the answer that goes deeper than that, like Rabbi de Miller answers, and what does he say? He says that when a person gets a gift, he becomes a slave. What does it mean? This means that no matter what, now he owes something to this person. So now he said, and it goes even further. What does it mean, that slave? It means that once you receive a gift from someone, automatically, like it says, "Sonei matanot yihyeh," the one who hates gifts will live. What's yihyeh? It's literally that he will live. Because once, let's say you take a gift, now of course, in general, if it's here and there, but you were saying that you take a nice gift, something that's 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 something, let's say, important or valuable, or something that people will tell you, after like after a week, after 10 years, they'll tell you, "You remember the gift I gave you?" So when a person takes the gifts, automatically it takes away from his own personal way of doing things. For example, let's say now you have a rich guy, he's going to go give you a nice gift, right? He gives you, I don't know, $100,000, says, "Go buy yourself a house." You have a rich uncle. Now the rich uncle, he doesn't do anything, right? He's married to a goya. He doesn't keep Shabbat, doesn't eat kasher. He doesn't need to do Yom Kippur. Does nothing. Now, as soon as he gives you $100,000, that's it. You're off his list. You'll never say a word to him. Why? Because the fact that you got a gift automatically just made you that you owe him, and since you owe him, you don't want to criticize him, you don't want to hurt him, you don't want to even get into any kinds of arguments. So therefore, you're in debt. So here we see the same thing. We see that Abraham did not want to take a gift. Oh, remember what I gave you? The only reason Sarah is buried is because I gave you a gift. So no, my friend, I don't want your gift. How much does it cost? But now, what did he do? The king there, he said, "Okay, you want it?" So he sold it in for 400 silver coins. And this was a fortune at the time. So he said, "Oh, I thought you wanted to give it to me as a gift." No, but you sell it to me. It's like I sell you a house here in Costa Luke, bungalow, $2.5 million, not renovated. Starting. So we see that. But what did he do? He went and he bought the land and did it special. And this is very important because this is the first acquisition of the land of Eretz Israel. Now we see that the promises of Hakadosh Baruch Hu are being fulfilled. Right? We see that all this land of Israel from the time of Abraham Avinu, that when Hashem promised him, He said, "You see, all this land will belong to you. It will belong to your son Yitzchak. It will belong to your son Yaakov. It will belong to the 12 tribes. It will belong to all your kids." And Baruch Hashem, this is what we have. This is what we have today. This is what is going to come, Baruch Hashem, in the time of Mashiach. So if we move along a little bit in the parasha, we see that there was a commandment for, meaning that they were looking out for a wife for Yitzchak. Right? Yitzchak wasn't married. And it was right after the Akedat Yitzchak, after he was going to be taken to be sacrificed. And you should know that he was 37 when he was taken. He wasn't a kid, and he knew, and he knew exactly. He said, "Dad, where's the ram? Where's the ram?" And I said, "Don't worry, Hashem will show us." So we see that he went, but after this test, then he had to go get married. So Ram told him, "Go to Eliezer." He told Eliezer, "Your job." Eliezer was a servant, and he was a very righteous servant. He said, "Eliezer, go to Haran. This is where the family of Sarah is, and go look for a wife somewhere there. But swear to me you don't marry a Canaanite, right? Because Sarah was still from the same family, so you know the values and all those different things. But the Canaanite, you didn't want to have anything to do with, and therefore Abraham made sure to tell this to Eliezer. Now Eliezer goes there, and like we learned with Yosef, and what did Eliezer do? He said, "Whoever is going to come and give me water for me, and is going to ask to give me water for my camels, right? To serve me and my camels water. This will be a sign that she will be the wife for Yitzchak." And the Gemara says, it's very bad what he did.
I told you, do you remember?
He said someone
You
cannot
can't make a sign. You can't do a decision based on a sign.
So what did the Gemara says about him? It says that it was very bad what he did, right? Because also the Gemara brings three cases. Naseh Ta'anit, it brings the case of Eliezer, it brings the case of Shaul, and it brings the case of Iftach. So it says two of them didn't, all three didn't pray properly, but two of them, even if they didn't pray properly, there was still Dashkha Pratit that they got answered with a good answer. So what did Eliezer ask? Like we just said. So he said, Asan Yazlan, but the Gemara says, are you crazy? What? What if now, let's say she's handicapped? What if now she's blind? Okay, so anyone, oh, you did it, thank you. So of course we have to, and also it's very, we have to stress this out very, very, very. It's very important to say that the Torah wants you to use your head, right? The Sfarim are here to be opened. They're here to be learned. Hakadosh Baruch Hu wants you to make decisions based on chokhmah. You cannot be Russian roulette. Let me see what I'm going to do today. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's it. What are you doing? Are you selling the house? No, wait. I have to do hocus pocus.
It's like a lazy way to live your life.
No, but not only it's lazy, but then it's asur also. It goes into because the thing is that no
random things.
Exactly, but it's only this is that also it goes against like the logic of what Hashem wants you to do. Now let's say you want to get married. The most important decision of your life. Okay, if she gives me, okay, let's say she gives you. So, okay, so she's good in chesed, but let's say she's a big thief, or she's a zona. What are you gonna do with her? And bring her home? No. So we see that it wasn't good. However, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the closer a Jew is to Hashem, this applies all the time, today, every day. Every Jew, the closer a person is to Hashem, the more Ashghal Pratit he has in his life. That everything goes and is set up for this person. So here what happens? All of a sudden, he needs water, he's there. The one girl that was supposed to be for Yitzchak is the one that's there. So Baruch Hashem already made all the job for him. So he was answered properly. Then the Gemara brings another case of Shaul. Shaul, he said, whoever's going to go and kill, who's going to go to war against Goliath, will have my daughter, right? Then also the same thing. What do you mean? You can't just pawn off your daughter. If, yeah, you can't. It's things that you can't just say like that. It depends on many factors. But if not, the guy's going to come and he's like I don't know, he's like an ogre. The way that he acts, everything. And now you want her for your daughter to marry the princess. But Baruch Hashem, you got David HaMelech, by David. And the last one was Iftach. Iftach, it says that he went to war and HaKadosh Baruch Hu blessed him. And he was able to win the war against the Philistine.
The first thing that comes out of my house.
Yeah, the Philistine. And he said, the first thing that comes out of my house, the first thing that comes out of my house, what's going to happen? It goes to Hashem. It goes as a sacrifice.
It's going to be a sacrifice.
And then who came out? It's his daughter. Now, of course, he didn't kill his daughter. But then there was a whole horrible story that happened that she had to they put her inside a house or whatever the case was. But just the idea there is that he took a vow. He said a prayer because it's all prayers. We have to understand those are prayers. If Hashem, if you save me this time, I'm going to keep. I'm gonna. That's funny. If I'm going to keep Shabbat, you already have to keep Shabbat. Yes. Yes, I know that.
So it's okay. It's good to do that, no? Or not?
No.
I don't know.
So very good. Very good you asked this question. So it's
but there
always
are types
It's a
of
bit
Nedarim that
like it's not like if I see this light switch go off, then I'm gonna do X and Y. But if Hashem answers my prayers, it'll help me be stronger in Kashrut or in Nida or in whatever.
all right, I understand. But so a person in general should never take any nidarim, right? Why?
Oh, it's like to the death, no?
No. It's perfectly fine to take nidarim. However, the problem is that if a person does not keep his word, there's a lot of verses. There's many verses from the Torah that a person does is isur every second that he goes and doesn't fulfill his words. You say something to someone, when am I going to meet you? Okay, 10:30, 10:30. So that's why you should either you always say bli neder or you add something very important. You say I'll try 10:30, but you have to really try. Not let's say you won't try at all because really you're going to be much later. So you can say around 10:30 or let's say a little bit, but you can never say this is what I'm going to do. And it's very important because then you're stealing people's time, you're stealing people's It's like I was working this week. There's a whole line. The guy cuts the whole line. What are you doing? Go back in the line. This is already stealing, but we don't have to go there. About unfortunately, there's like
You're
100
ruining my
steps.
promise.
No, there's like 100 steps until we get to cutting someone in line.
Yeah.
But to go back to the idea of nidarim, so nidarim, like we saw in the Rambam, is that a person does a nidar or a shivua and he doesn't fulfill them. It's a very, very, very bad avera. So it goes in one of the averot that doesn't get forgiven like lightly. So even after Yom Kippur, it's still on the person's file. That's why we do kol nidre and all those things. So a person should always be accustomed to say, always bli neder, never take a vow, never say, oh, if I do this, Hashem, I'll do that, because words have a power. Wow, very good. Animals, they can't talk. You know that? They can't talk, but not only they can't talk, they don't have the capability, the physical capability
Except
to
for
talk
parrots.
like us. Yeah, we parrots. But
There's a loophole. I found.
no, but only they talk. I think they.
No, they talk. I've seen
No,
I've seen
but-
videos.
But they're
They go to the
No.
parrot. They're like, "What do you want?" They're like, "I want a cookie," and then they give him the cookie, and then they're like, "Thank you." Then they say thank you.
Okay,
You know?
very good. So maybe
But
they're trained.
mimicking.
But what I'm
Yeah,
saying
they're
is that
trained. Yeah,
they
they're
don't have-
trained.
No, but I'm saying they don't have.
It's not instinctual.
They don't have a speech. Meaning they don't have a speech where they can have a
they
conversation
don't have a language.
and they can understand.
Yeah,
And sometimes when you speak, can say one word and they can mean you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
understand.
But
So anyway-
hearing, it's like a robot.
No, because like a dog could understand words, but a dog cannot talk. So that's
Okay, very good. So it says that Hakadosh Baruch Hu, it says Basara Ma'amarot Bara Olam, right? So with 10 Ma'amarot, Hakadosh created the world. So we see that Hakadosh Baruch Hu created the world with words, and He gave us what? The ability to speak. Now, if a person says, "All this house doesn't belong to me," so I can say it because you can't do it on someone else's property, all this house belongs to the Bet Hamikdash. Today he says that. That's it. He's done. Whenever he touches. Whenever he goes on this chair, whenever he uses anything in the house, every second, sin from the Torah, sin from the Torah, sin from the Torah.
even
But I
today.
just said words. It doesn't matter, my friend.
Even today.
Even today. That's why, for example, a person who has to give money now for Zecher Machazit Shekel, they say that you should not say this is Machazit Shekel, right? Machazit Shekel was basically to make an accounting of all the Jewish people, and every year was done around in the month of Adar, and we have the custom to give it in the time of Purim, right, or right before Purim. So today we gave it also, but we say Zecher and Machazit Shekel, meaning it's in memory of the Machazit Shekel. So a person should go and give this amount, but he should not say this is Machazit Shekel, because if he says that, then he goes into a lot of problems, right? So because then if it's Machazit Shekel, then you have to wait till Bet Hamikdash comes and you give it to it's for the Bet Hamikdash, the Machazit Shekel.
Mhm.
It was to upkeep the temple. So everyone had to go and give an amount, but it's not you give it for yeshiva. And if he says Zichar and Machazit Shekel, So this-
that it's like an honoring of, but not for
exactly, and that's the difference behind it. So that's why a person also with his words always have to be careful. So now now we go back to our subject in the parasha. We go back to Eliezer. That Eliezer was not careful with his words, but Baruch Hashem, and he fell on Rivka. It says that when Rivka came to Yitzchak to meet with Yitzchak, he was right away. He had a nechama, right? So la consolé. It made him much better after the death of his mother, right? Because his mother was a big loss, but when she came, it's like she brought the light into the house, and then he was able to go and build with her. Now we have to know also that when we go on a little bit in the parasha, we see that Abraham went after Sarah passed away. He went and he married Keturah. Some opinions said that it was Hagar, and then he had also many children with her and everything. We have to know something very important: that even if he had many children with her, all the kids, what did he do? He gave them gifts and he sent them away. Why?
It was the words of the thing, no? Of the what's it called? It was the words of
That Hashem blessed him.
no, for his 6 kids that he gave after. He gave them the words of the names of the demons, or or like so something like that to like fend off, to be able to defend themselves.
I don't know.
It was Shema Tatuma, or un truc comme ça. That's what I read it in the Midrash.
Chazak. I don't know. But very good. But what did he do, Abraham? He went and he sent them off, the kids. Why? Because
The kids
Ki
about
me
that.
Yitzchak yikareh lecha zara. Why? Because your kids, your descendants will be from Yitzchak. And this is our proof from the Torah, right? When the Goyim, when the Arabs, they come to us, hey, you stole the land. Isn't my friend? To who does the land belong? That's actually the first proof of the Torah. It asks the first verse is Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemim ve'et haaretz. Now the Torah, there's a question that Rashi asks: why is it that you're starting to talk to me about the land that Hashem created the world? Why is it important for us? Torah milishon ora. So Torah comes to teach us. Here we want to learn the halachot. What do we have to do? How do we have to behave? It's not here to tell us stories of it's great, the creation and everything, but why do we need to have this first? So Rashi comes and explains that the Torah, instead of starting with the first mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh, right, that the blessing that we do on the moon, he comes and he teaches us that Hashem started with Bereshit bara Elohim, so we should all know, the whole world should know that the land, the earth belongs to Hashem. So if something belongs to you, you can decide to do what you want with it, right? But all the more so for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he owns the world, and he owns everybody who lives in there with everything that's inside. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he decides to who the land goes. There's actually a story in the Gemara, and it's brought in the Ben Porat Yosef, that there was once three groups that came to Alexander the Great, right? Alexander Mogdon, to make a request on the land of Eretz Israel, right? The first group was the Egyptians. They showed up to Alexander Mogdon, and they asked him, "Listen, this is our land. Why? Because basically the Jews they lived in Egypt, and it's written in the Torah that all the money they took all our stuff. We took gold, we took all those things. Actually, they gave it to us. It was a miracle that Hashem made that they gave us willingly. They said, "Whoa, this is a nation of God. Look at all those miracles." They gave it to us willingly. So they gave us all the gold and everything. So they said, "Oh, look, we stole everything from them. So they have to pay us back everything they stole from us." What happened? So they sent Givia ben Pisisa. Givia ben Pisisa was a hunchback. And there, hunchbacks, even today, if you see a hunchback, he gets half of the respect that he deserves. Why? Because he's a hunchback. He can be the biggest chacham, he can know everything. That's it. They don't give him the proper respect. So he said, "Mima nafshach." In any case, it's a good thing if you send me. He said, first of all, he's a big time chacham. If now I go and I win in court, I'm good. And if I don't, you're gonna say, "Who's this hunchback? Who sent this guy?
Yeah.
We don't even know him. But this
Yeah.
is our rabbi." So that was the plan. That was the plan. So he goes there and he goes and he answers, "Yeah, you're right. Where's your source that we took all your stuff from? Where? The Torah. Very good. We also have a source that we were slaves for 400 years. Pay up all the money that for all those generations that you took us as slaves." Then Baruch Hashem, it was good, and it was then they left. The request was denied. Then the next case, who comes? The Arabs. Right? It sounds like a joke, but it's not. It sounds like that. The Arabs come.
Black people.
No, yeah, after this.
Oh yeah, like chef.
So the Arabs, they come and they say, "This is our land." Why? Abraham, he had two sons, right? Ishmael and Yitzchak. We are Ishmael. We're actually supposed to get double, right? It's actually in the parasha. It says, not this is parasha, but it says in the Torah, if a man has two wives, one that he loves and one that he hates. Let's say the first one he hates. It just, I don't know, it was arranged marriage, and the second one he loves. He's not allowed to give double portion to the one that he loves, the kid that he loves, since he's the second born. He can only give to the firstborn of the wife that he hates. So here you can say the same thing. He has to give to Ishmael, right? But no, it doesn't work. But what is your proof? From the Torah. So here also the proof is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who gave the whole world, right? And therefore, the same way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said in the Torah that for a firstborn gets double. He also said in the Torah that the land will only belong to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and therefore they also had no claim. And then the last one who came were the Canaanim. They said, "Excuse me, the land is called Eretz Israel or Eretz Canaan." That's Canaan, right? So it looks like they have a good claim this time. So now what happened? Canaan, he was the fourth kid of Noah, right? And it's interesting that all the names there were all the names of the Torah. Like, I mean, even like according to like history, like the Goy history, like the real history, let's say, not the Goy history, but the real history is that this land, right, Canaan this was the name of this land. So Canaan was the fourth son of Noah, no, of Ham, and after Ham did what he did to his father, so a lot of opinions of what he did. Some opinions say that he castrated his father because he didn't want him to have other kids. So look, we're only three now. If you have another kid, we have to split it in four. So he said, I don't want that.
Yeah,
so what happened? So Noah, when he woke up, he went and he said that Canaan should be cursed. Why? They should be a slave to his brothers. Why? Because the same way that I can't have a fourth child, that's what Noah said. Then your fourth child will be cursed. And
that was the fourth child.
Yes, the Canaan was the fourth child, and he was the one in charge of the land. And therefore, Gilad ben Pizah, he said, so they said, "Where's your proof?" And they said, "From the Torah." Yeah, okay, very good. So he said, when a slave has a piece of land, or he brings it somewhere, who owns it? The master, right? So they were just holding on to the land, and that's interesting that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it from all the nations. Why was it Canaan? Why wasn't the Egyptian nation? Why wasn't another nation? And it would be much more difficult. But no, Hashem made it that even the nation that was taking care of the land was a nation that did not have any rights to the land in the first place. And so, with all those claims, Baruch Hashem, none of the claims of those three groups were accepted. And of course, it will show that the land belongs to us. Now, something else that we have to go and learn about the land is that the land is a land that it belongs to us, but it is also dependent on our merits, and therefore the more we do, and this is very important, like we saw in the Rambam the other day, said a person Chaz v'Shalom, if he does one avera, right, he does one bad thing, he should know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the regular way of how things work, and this is the way of the world, is that a person can be either hit by his money, by his body, right? Chaz v'Shalom get a sickness, can lose $100,000 here, by his kids, right? So we see that there's many different things that can happen to him, and this is the Rambam writes Halacha L'Maaseh. This is not this is basic Judaism 101. Is that if a person goes and does an action, a negative action, right, an avera, he causes those bad effects to happen. And more than that, the Rambam says when we say that a whole city is right, we said that a whole city is dependent on the people inside, like we see in Sodom. Right? That's this parasha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu went and he wiped out the whole city of Sodom. Why? Because they were wicked, right? They were doing all kinds of abomination. They were stealing from each other. All the guests, you know what they get as a treatment? They get raped. All the male guys, they get raped. But Lot told them, because they wanted to get Lot. They heard Lot received guests. Lot was the nephew of Abraham. So they knock on the door. Hey, Lot, we heard you have guests. Give us the guests. We want to know them. The Torah says to know. It's
to know intimately.
There you go. And then Lot says, no, I'll give you my daughters. No, we don't want your daughters. That's what they said. So Baruch Hashem wiped them out. But just to say what? Just to say that we see that they're, because of the sins that they were doing, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wiped them out. So this is the same thing. That if now we do a good action and we do a mitzvah, we have a shiur, we learn, we do something, we actually, and we should know this is the actual fact of the Torah. This is if you're a Jewish person, you have to believe in this. That you do a one mitzvah, you have an impact on all of Am Yisrael. You can do a mitzvah here, you can read a Tehillim here. Right? The best is if you know what you're reading in the Tehillim. Right? This is very important also because this gives you the proper concentration. Right? So if you're able to go and know the meaning, this would be much better. Or even to do it in English would be also very good because it's also duties of the heart. Right? It's not big robots. If it's just a robot reading, we can program them AI. He reads the Tehillim 10 times a day better than us. Right? That's not what Hashem wants.
They have their what's it called? Their Quran that's reading like on the like a radio that's rehearsing the Quran like
It's like
all day.
all day.
it's just like
on play.
it's on replay, yeah, all day.
Yeah, well, maybe they want to learn it. I don't know, but very good. But for us, it's not. For us, what's important? It's important is to actually do mitzvot, right? So mitzvot, learning Torah, and Masim Tovim. But we should know that this is what can. This is what not only can help. This is what helps Am Yisrael. Meaning that even if we have the biggest army, but now let's say you have the whole thing filled of people, here, Shalom, heroes of Hashem, they don't keep anything. There's no chance we have any chance against anybody. It's like a big tiger with a paper inside, right? A big paper tiger.
Yeah.
Right? So the tiger, they only scare the tiger when they don't know that it's all paper. But for us, we're only a real tiger when we follow the Torah and the Mitzvah. It's very simple. We see throughout our history. Now, how did we get the land in Israel in 1948? We didn't have an army. We didn't have nobody. How did we just showed up there? Like Allah Baruch Hu made it in a way that we end up there, out of all the places in the world, and that everything was set up. Okay, after the Holocaust, the going, they had some compassion on us, right? But it's Hashem that made it in that way that we don't have a choice. Look, they need to have a land, and then they approved it, and Allah Baruch Hu made it that it happens through a seemingly natural way, and that's why there's. I have to give so much thanks to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Imagine before 1948, every day in the prayer, we say Hakadosh Baruch Hu, kabetz, that you should gather us and that you should bring us back to Eretz Yisrael and everything. And then finally, imagine 2,000 years they pray every day, and then now we're living it right now. There was no chance for anybody to go to Israel, and even now to travel to visit, there was no chance. But that we're living it. So just to take away from this week's shiur. First of all, we see there's a very important mitzvah to go and bury someone, to bury a spouse or a family member. There's also a mitzvah if they see someone who no one went and buried. There's a mitzvah, it's called mitzvah med. You walk on the way and you see, I hope that happen, but if you see on the way a dead person, then if there's no one that goes to take care of them, there's no chevra kadisha, how you call the chevra kadisha to take care of them, then you have a mitzvah to go and bury the dead, because we have a special attention to bury the dead, that they should go in proper respect, right? And also there's a mitzvah on how to honor the dead, how you bury them, how you should not go and make brachot in the cemetery, and many different halachot like that. Then the second thing that we learn is that when you make a request, when you pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you should not make it through signs or through things that might have a negative connotation, right? Because like we said in the case of Mara, what if she's blind, right? What if Rivka was blind? What if she was lame, or she couldn't walk properly? What if she couldn't, all different types of things that can happen, and that's not the proper way to pray. And also the other thing is that the importance of husband and wife and being together, and how the couple, when they're in Shlom Bayit, the Shekhinah resides amongst them, and they're always able to achieve and do a lot more. This is why Hakadosh Baruch Hu, it says, and we're going to finish off with that a little bit about Shlom Bayit. Is in last week's parasha when it was talking about Abraham having a child, having Yitzchak. It says that Hakadosh Baruch Hu went to Abraham and he said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh? Why did Sarah laugh?"
Because she's like, it's impossible that I'm going to have a kid at this age.
So she laughs because how am I going to have a kid? So you want to say Abraham, why did she laugh? So Abraham had to go speak with her, right? But Hashem didn't tell him the whole line that she said. Because she also said, "Va'adoni zaken," right? She laughed and said, "My husband is old. What can I do?" Right? So it's as if, like, in a way, like she was putting a blame on Abraham. So when Hashem went to Abraham, he didn't tell Abraham, "Why did your wife? Your wife said that you're too old." So he said only the thing. Why did she laugh? So you should go and speak with her, right? And that's also another job. Is that if the best person to criticize you is your husband, and the best person to criticize you is your wife, and all the criticism is the best. Why? Because sometimes we have very high ego. We go somewhere. Oh, look, no. You come home, your wife knows exactly who you are, everything, and the one she puts you in your place, or she tells you comment, this is what's going to make you better. Anyone's going to tell you, "Oh, you're great, you're tzaddik, you're wow." All this is very nice, but it's not going to help you become better. Because when you know things that you're doing wrong, let's say laziness, or let's say many other things that you're doing wrong, then when you get a comment, and when you being, or at least it's not even a comment negatively, even like speaking about it, then it can help achieve a good thing. So just to finish off, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted it to be for peace. And also another thing for peace is that for the sotah, if a husband has a doubt on his wife, if she cheated on him or not. It's not only if she cheated, he told her. A lot of people they get this wrong, so they just they jump the gun, but they don't know the halachot. So it's easy to jump when you know the halachot. So very quickly, it says that if a husband it says that if a husband tells his wife, he warns her in front of two witnesses, he tells her, "Look, I forbid you to go to be in contact or to be in yichud. Yichud, I mean, going somewhere with I don't know, Mike. I see that.
Secluded.
Yeah. So then what happens? 1 week later, Chas v'shalom, two witnesses go and they see she was in the room with Mike locked. They saw through the window. They see them coming in and out from a room. Or they go to the hotel. They see them coming out of the hotel room. She was already warned not to be secluded with this guy by her husband, and then she was found. So there's a very high suspicion. So, anyways, what happens is there was a whole process, and then they wrote the name of Hakadosh Baruch Hu, of Hashem. They wrote the parasha, and they put it inside the water, and then the water made it that the letters got
Faded.
got faded. So all the letters get removed, and they're all in the water, and then the woman drinks. So then it says, "Wow, Hashem is ready to delete His name, to remove His name." Right? That we see it's a soul. You're never allowed to remove Hashem's name. If you have a mezuzah, you made a mistake, you have to go and bury it. You're not allowed to throw it out or do something like that. But we see that Hakadosh Baruch Hu, for the sake of shalom, He goes and He deletes His name. So this is why a husband and a wife should always strive their best to be shalom, and also to look in our avot, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, how they lived with their wives, how they give them love and affection, and Mizrach Hashem should be